Hi everyone, I'm Zach,
And I'm Abraham.
and this is our final project for ME191.
Our final project is an LED light game that utilizes two Arduino Unos and two servo motors to interact with the player. The first Arduino board is the main game interface. Each of these four buttons is linked to one each green and red LEDs. In each round of the game, one random LED of each color will illuminate. If the player hits the button corresponding to the green LED, they get a point. If the player hits any other button, they lose a point. If they don't hit a button, their score does not change.
The potentiometers serve as difficulty and score dials that will run continuously throughout the game.
The second Arduino board is the difficulty interface for the game. The difficulty is controlled by this potentiometer. Increasing the difficulty will decrease the amount of time a player has to react to the lit LEDs.
The difficulty dial is controlled by this potentiometer and adjusts itself in discrete amounts corresponding to the difficulty. Once the player has set the difficulty, they then hit the first button, which will initiate the game.
When the game is initiated, the green LEDs will illuminate to prompt the player to set the difficulty: beginner, easy, intermediate, hard, or expert. For the purposes of this run-through, the beginner difficulty will be used. When the button is pressed to start the game, the LEDs will flash in sequence to denote the beginning of the first round of the game. There's a short pause to allow the player to collect their thoughts before the game itself is started. The score servo updates at the end of each round. The player's score cannot be reduced below 0. If a player hits the wrong LED while their score is 0, their score will not change. There is also logic in the game's code to prevent both LEDs linked to the same switch from turning on. The game only reads the first button that the player presses, so if they hit multiple buttons, only the first one that they hit will actually be read. At the end of the game, the LEDs will flash in the same sequence as at the beginning, and then all of the LEDs will light up until the button is pressed. This will exit out of the program and clear all variables in MATLAB.